our minds off to stuff that work because you don't think it came from you. And if you one of the originals of the earth, anything on earth came from you. You can't be second and then everything originate from you. If you the original organic Mississippi clay dirt walking, or if you from the what they call the motherland from the Black Aswan dirt clay of the Nile, you still have to be able to see the benefit in other people's culture because those are spin-off cultures, right? We don't throw away the original sitcom because it has spin-offs. And sometimes you have to go back to the original sitcom to understand a particular scene in the spin-off, right? So it's the same way that we take these tools that we use for spiritual awakening from all over the world.
Right. You know, and I had another question in mind, but I like to go with the flow. So you're talking about tools that we're taking from all over the world. This comment right here, I felt that going from South Africa. I got a lot of people from South Africa who tune into the show. So shout out to everybody from South Africa. And when I was young, I had a kid in my school from South Africa, and he became one of my closer friends named SikApe. His name was Sikambuzo Dalamini. So if he's watching, shout out, yo, I was the dude I was cool with, South African name was Sikambuzo Dalamini. Shout out to him. And he used to tell me a lot about South Africa. And what I want to ask you is that my whole life I've heard things about, I felt the connection to South Africa in terms of the information, and you hear about the Credo Mutwa, you hear about the Zulus, and the Zulus was very inspirational, Shaka Zulu, and we hear about so many things with South Africa. A lot when they was going through the apartheid thing, a lot of Black Americans over here, the musicians, Smokey Robinson, we was making noise over here to help them out over there in South Africa. And we
were still going through the same struggle.
We're still going through the same struggle. Tell me, and since we're talking about states of consciousness, and you talked about that New York state of mind, I'm from Harlem. I got that Harlem state of mind. What is it about South Africa? South Africa is very interesting. What's the deal with South Africa?
In the ancient times, that's where the first major gold mines in Rafali, South Africa was. That's where the people was being imported to South Africa from all over the world to aid in the mining of gold. It's some of the oldest gold mines on earth is in South Africa. And that was because it was called the Abzu at the time, and it was under the direct jurisdictional reign of Enki, right? The land of Enki, his children is the all of those giant tribes in Africa, yo Dinka, yo Mandinga, yo Zulu, everybody that's not what you call a San or a Twa are children of wives that he had from the San and the Twa that made those big people. And if you remember, Gil Scott had the song, Tell Me Brother, Have You Heard about Johannesburg? Come on now, what's the word? It's Johannesburg. And the Johannesburg, South Africa, was a replica of Birmingham, Alabama, and the oppressors' cycles of oppression. We was able to see over there what we was too close to see over here. You gotta remember, sometimes you're too close to a thing to see it for what it is, but when you see it at a distance, it helps you clear your vision up about what you're seeing over here. They had some great men. My favorite South African is Stephen Biko. Everybody else was on the Mandela train, and I was like, well, what about Biko? Why y'all don't want to remember him? Because he sounds too much like Malcolm X, right? And the kindred tribe to the Zulu is the old Mississippian of the Americas. So when you see a Zulu rise to power in South Africa, it's either the what they call a precursor to a rise of an old Mississippian over here, or it's a response to the rise of an old Mississippian over here. The quintessential Shaka Zulu, old Mississippian, is Chief Malik Angel Bay, who we call Jeff Ford. He has that same Shaka spirit, but he not probably as big as Shaka, but his energy is just as big. His insight into his desire to defend his people is just as big. His military strategic acumen is just as sharp. That's why they don't want him out of prison, and they trumped up that case and called him a terrorist before they even knew what a terrorist was. They still don't have a definition. But all of that was to prevent him from organizing the troops and meeting all of the other chiefs face to face in the street. Because once they do that, then we're able to put up a resistance, right? Not just South Africa. If you go and study the Mau Mau from Kenya, right, you get the same feel as when the settlers was over here and we was trying to come up with a way to conquer the colonizer. This is all anti-colonial resistance in Africa and in America. But we got to also remember you had a anti-colonial front in India, which was a extension of Ethiopia. Most of us don't know India is part of Ethiopia, right? We don't know that because they take that part of the history and they bury it in a major universities like Oxford, Yale, Princeton, and only the ones of us with exceptional intellect will be given access to it once they get us to contract not to tell nobody what you find, right? So all of this is a shifting of a global pattern. By seeing it play out in other places, you tend to get used to it where you at, but you're not used to it when you see it being played out somewhere else. So South Africa is directly involved in our liberation. And if you go study Maurice Bishop from Grenada, he was a student of South Africa, right? And all of us, we don't be knowing this because the purpose, Garvey talked about a confraternity. We don't know about the Bang Dong Conference to come up with a counter strategy to fight white supremacy because it's a military doctrine and it has nothing to do with skin color. It has everything to do with concealing the hidden hand, the black hand, the unseen hand behind the cloak of a facade, a false image just put out front. White supremacy ain't what people think it is. And when I first heard Neely Fuller's statement, when I read the ISIS papers by Francis Welsing, if you don't understand white supremacy, everything you think you understand is only confusing you. Yeah. That was a wake-up call for me because now I have to figure out what is this thing, white supremacy, which is global colonization, military conquest of the entire world, using factional fractions under the pretense of something called the white man's burden that was an edict of the Pope. So we traced it all the way back to the Pope, but we don't even know that the Pope ain't even the power structure. He's what you call the CEO. He's just the face that represent the ones that don't want to be seen. Somebody got to be seen. So they put their cat's paw, they fall guy, they coat Sievers, they crash dummy out front to take the heat while they can count all of the money in the back without worrying about nobody bum rushing the door. I'm at the door.
Hey, Rod. I mean, wow. Listen, man. We could do this show for 10 hours if this show could go. Before we get into the show, what's your thoughts on the Pope dying? Do you think that has some type of spiritual symbology, even if he didn't just die? Do you think it has some type of spiritual symbology? We in a 9-ether year, everything going on. We just everything going on. What do you think that means symbolically?
So first you got to start with his age. 88 means a queen has been seated, but it ain't talking about in Europe.
Oh shit.
Right? 88 is a seated queen. 80 is an open queen seat. 8 is a queen looking for a seat to sit in. 88 means the queen is seated. When the Pope dies, it's opening up the clear pathway of the Great Mother back to the sacerdotal seat. At this particular time, it's directly tied to that. Because remember, the Pope's seat sits under Big Mama's seat. He's the underminer. He's the supplanter, right? He's representing the quintessential Jacobite, the one who goes under to loosen the root in order to replace the plant, an underminer, a supplanter. That's what it means. So once he croak, pass over, unalive, whatever you want to call it, once they announce it, that's a confession. And it's tied to the numbers because they talking numbers and they talking symbols.
Rod, real quick, Rod. This is a very interesting comment. You know, the piano has 88 keys in it when you get a real piano. So it's interesting. You know, the keys in the piano is closely related to the, you know, cosmos and all that. But go ahead. I just want to thank you for pointing that out, Levi.
Yeah. And so when all of the keys been turned, right, that's when you can get the full access to the piano. You don't learn the piano 88 keys at a time. You learn it one key at a time.
Yeah.
But once you know all 88 keys, you can make music. You can make classical music, jazz, ragtime. You can play the piano and rock and roll because you know the 88 keys, right? Now, the keys is also symbolic because the Papal Church is represented by a gold key and a silver key. The gold key is what they call solar magic, astrology. And the silver key is lunar magic, dreams and tarot and runes, oracles. If you're not a master of both, you can only see one side. The gold key also represents the father line, and the silver key represents the mother line. Right? Masculine and feminine. We're talking about the law of gender now, which takes us back to Hermetics. Everything they do, like we know that when they announced Queen Lizard Bitch to be dead, that she had been dead.
Queen Lizard Bitch. You a funny dude, Ron. Come on, man. You a funny dude. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
We know this robotoid that they call Francis. That's why his hands don't come down on his body, because he's a robot.
When you said it on my show, I said Rod is bugging the fuck out. But go ahead, though. Go ahead.
Don't make me send you the receipt, Rich, because you know I will. Because you know how I send you the receipt of them sliding his ass under the bunk, because it's in my. All I gotta do is go through my Facebook feed, and I'll find that receipt and send it to you, and you'll be like, "I thought he was crazy."
Oh man,
because I got the receipt, right? But all of this, okay. So now, what the papacy? When a woman go to the gynecologist, what kind of smear do they give her? It's called a pap smear.
Pap smear, yeah. So
now you dealing with somebody that's blocking the vagina, a papacy.
Ooh, you tied that? Oh, you gonna do it like that?
That's what it is.
The papacy, you gonna do it like that? I see you. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's also the poop deck pappy on the pirate ship. His job is relegated to cleaning up shit. So all these words is tied together. But while you're dealing with the papacy and the poop deck pappy, go all the way back to Egypt when Osiris was fighting APAP. APAP.
And what happened with that fight, Rod, for those who don't know?
It's the eternal fight against chaos versus order. As long as the father is available, he can fend off the chaos.
Yeah.
But when Set slays the father, the chaos ensues. That means that there is a contesting of the throne, because he's not the rightful heir, but he's sitting there. He can't sit on it. He can only sit under it. The divine father can't sit on Big Mama's seat. Right? So when you look up, if you look up the wheel of Osiris, he's sitting there in his 12 zodiac signs around him.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look up the wheel of the Great Mother, she sits on the 13th seat. The void is in the middle. That's the eye. The eye at the center of the universe is the all-seeing eye of the Great Mother. She is the one who electrifies with energy called Shakti, the eye that brings the light into the world as a sun. So this is where your Heliopolis and your solar worshipers is talking about when they honoring the father, but they trying to make you forget the mother. You can't honor the father and neglect the mother because he came from her. He ain't got no womb. He can't spit no babies out no womb. They've been trying to replicate it for thousands of years, and every time they get close, they fail so miserably they reset the clock. Ain't no more resets now. They done. They 6,000 years of trying to figure out how to make a man have a baby like a woman. It's over. They know it. We know it. This is all tied to the Pope because the Pope is supposed to be a woman in that seat, not a man. And he's supposed to wear a black dress, not a white dress. That's why they called her the Black Madonna. She wore a black dress with gold trim. But now they got him with this white dress because that's supposed to be the nuns. The nuns is the mirror reflection of the primordial noon. It's all in the doctrines, but it's so scattered out, we don't know what we're looking at because we all forgot the holy drama, which is the story that is the blueprint to reclaim and restore order to everything. Whenever the chaos takes over, you know it. Because you have people behaving in chaotic manners. You have a misunderstanding the roles of gender, the roles of education, the breaking up the families. All of that's part of the creation of the chaos to play out on the ground as it plays out in the greater universe. As it decaying society's entropy is the building of the chaos. And this is why all of those secret societies say from the chaos come order.
Yeah. Aleister Crowley and all of them, right?
Yeah. Like Crowley, they call him evil. He was from the left-hand path. But we don't even know what left-hand path means.
I mean, right. He was into like semen and blood type shit. You know what I mean? Like he was
okay,
in
now, we got to go. If you really want to understand Crowley, you got to go back to where he started. Crowley said, I'm going to go into the Masonic lodges to find out what's going on. And when I get done mastering all they BS, I'm going to give it away for free to everybody in the world that want it.
Oh, that's what he was doing?
That's what he said he was doing. When he was a teenager, he made his mind up to infiltrate the Masonic lodge and any other secret society that's being used to oppress masses of people, right? He was a natural pervert. You can't send no straight-laced dude in to drag some perverts out. You got to send a pervert.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's why when everybody talk about Puffy, I say, okay, well, who is Puffy trying to drag out? You got to remember, it's a whole movement going on the land. But you can't send no heterosexual in the pack of homosexuals that tell him that you want to drag him out in the open. He ain't gonna never get him out unless he get turned out.
Ooh, yo, this motherfucker dropping it tonight, y'all. Come on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Whatever happened to Puffy, he better not let Clive get away. That's all I can tell you. His only job is to hold on to Clive Davis until the bitter end. Because that's the SOB that he went in to get.
Right. Oh, shit.
So all his troubles is in Clive Davis' lap right now.
Cool.
And Clive Davis got a series of associates that's begging him to have somebody X him out while he in the lockup. They want him dead. Because they know if Clive go down, it's taking down Lyle Cohen, it's taking down Ted Fields, it's taking down what was the dude for Tommy Mottola, Jimmy Iovine, all of those All of the ones that's been physically protected by the Jewish Defense League, the same people that had hits on all of your favorite celebrities, they the same ones that it hasn't changed in 500 years of their oppression. The only thing they just keep tricking you as to what the real dirty hands look like. And Noble Drew Ali showed them to you. And we still don't believe it. We the many, they the few. Mm-hmm. Remember, it was only a third of the angels that fell. That means that it was 2/3 still on the ground. Mm-hmm. So it's 2/3 against 1/3. They not smarter than us individually or collectively, but they had an upper hand because they was concealed amongst us. Mm-hmm. So that gave them a chance to get a head start in the fight. They got a head start. They almost got to the finish line, but they were so busy doing their dirt, they have to call the same people that the righteous got to call to finish the game because they don't know what to do next. Mm. So now we all get together and we say, okay, everybody take a piece of this puzzle and somebody gonna put it all together. So we go back, we read the Nation of Islam, Dr. Elijah Muhammad tell you what he tell you. Clarence 13 next tell you what he tell you. Yahweh ben Yahweh tell you what he tell you. Noble Drew Ali tell you what he tell you. It go all the way back. Marcus Garvey tell you what he tell you. Frederick Douglass tell you what he tell you. And you got in order to win a protracted struggle, we don't study protracted struggle. It's only a couple kids from the Panthers, a couple Vice Lord kids from back in the day that had been studying military strategy. It's a couple of them up that they call 5%ers in New York that study this protracted struggle enough to know where they dog at in the fight. Mm-hmm. Most of us don't know where our dog at in the fight. So we think we kicking somebody else's dog, we kicking our own dog, and now we made our own dogs turn against us. Mm. Right? Dr. Clark told you